Hey y'all, welcome back to Homestead. I just got done feeding the chickens today and I'm catching a break in the rain, so I'm going to film with you guys. It's rained for 24 hours here in central Alabama and we have needed it, so I may have to make this video quick. It's looking pretty cloudy behind me, so it may come right back. I've got Briscoe, the cat, at my feet, so we're just trying to make this video work. Raised bed behind me, you can see chickens are all in it. That's fine, let them peck through it, let them scratch through it. They're in it, helping me out. They're fertilizing it as they go. They poop, so that's great. That's what we want. I'm gonna have more videos coming out this week on the raised bed. Once it clears up and I'm able to come out here and work on it, I've just not been able to because there's been so much going on in the rain. So we got that. My topsoil garden got planted. I've got to get that video out to you guys. It's a lot of work editing that one and showing you each little step because I'm gonna show you my compost bed and the topsoil bed, all planting it in an old-timers, old-fashioned spring garden, early spring garden. Cabbages, broccoli, radishes, things like that, English peas. So all that's coming out to you guys. Rain's very good for that bed, so I'm glad it's been raining. But anyways, someone had mentioned, why are you building another raised bed? Well, to the effect of, don't you have enough places to grow food? No, never, 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 never. When you start, let me tell y'all this, when you start growing your own food, you will never have enough space. Never, never. It takes so much to literally eat just what you grow. If you don't believe me, try it. There's silkies behind me back there. They're everywhere. But guys, it takes so much to grow for your own food. You don't understand. It takes, I would say, acres. I'm not kidding. Even for me and my husband, if you literally, everything that we ate, if we grew it, it would take so much more space than we even have right now, okay? Or that we're growing right now. It takes a lot, and people don't understand that. Second of all, I like to grow and grow as much as possible because A, I want to grow what I'm eating. Why do you want to grow what you're eating? The reason is, if I can talk for the roosters, the reason is it's so much more nutritious, okay? When you know what you're eating, it's better. It tastes better. It looks different. The number one thing I get so aggravated about is a tomato at the store. A tomato at the store is an insult to a homegrown tomato. There's no comparison, y'all. There's none. It's pink, it's full of water, it's not red, yeah, they pick them green, blah, 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 but it's still just not right. I don't know what's put on these tomatoes. I don't know what's put in these tomatoes. I don't understand. And it's not just tomatoes, it's a ton of food that we're eating that we don't know what's in it. And, gardening is so much better for you. I've begged with people, I've pleaded, like, please learn how to garden because, guys, you can't get out here and do this overnight. You can't. We're still learning. But my favorite thing is people say, hey, you need to do this as suggestions. They'll say, hey, you need to do this, or no, you need to do that. Everybody in the comments will always conflict each other because certain things work best for certain people in certain areas of the country, depending on the type of soil in that area of the country, their climate, what varieties do better there. It's a lot of factors. What they recommend to me usually doesn't work because it's different each place you go. You can't watch some YouTuber or get a book and understand how to garden. You're going to have to get out here and do it and then understand what works for you. I can grow eggplants all day long. I might have a neighbor with different soil that can't even begin to grow an eggplant. I might start my seedlings in November, even though it says late January for me. That may be what works for me, okay? It's very specific to the gardener, to the land, to their technique and everything. And we're still learning, but you can't take everything as the gospel and that just be what you've got to go do. What I'm doing is trying to show you a general idea like this, like, hey, you could build something for free if you wanted to, okay? And if you had the time, the space, the strength to be able to go do it, you could. There's different ways. But as far as what's, the food that you pick out of your own yard, it is so much better. It's so much better for you. I've said this over and over, and we don't know what's put in our food. I don't understand why certain articles will leak out and we'll get tidbits of information, and then it'll just kind of go away. But then next thing you know, 20, 30 years, they say, oh, well, that's bad for you. We've got to change it to this. But they don't exactly, they never tell you beforehand what was in the food. They never tell you what was put on it. They never tell you this until it's way too late. I watched a documentary the other night, guys, and I thought it was overall pretty boring, but it said the 20 worst foods that we're eating. And the only thing that really struck my attention, everything was saying too much salt in this, hot dogs. Everybody knows hot dogs are just a hodgepodge. Everybody knows this kind of stuff. Tons of fat, things like that, that we know, but we choose to go buy anyways. But the number one thing that stood out to me was they said bread was one of the worst things you can eat. Well, I've always heard that, and we've been told that, okay? We've been told to eat whole wheat, things like that. If I do buy bread, it's always whole wheat, things like that. Whole wheat crackers, things like that, if I don't make these myself. But what I found interesting about the bread, I don't know if this is true. I have no clue. I have no clue whatsoever. But it said that one of the main fillers in bread is human hair that is swept off salon floors in China. That they take that hair and use it as filler in loaf bread. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what brand. They were talking generically in all bread. So I don't know. You can look it up for yourself. That to me, that's just gross. That is nasty and gross. I think if we knew exactly what was in the food that we buy today, we would probably never want to eat that food again. And the few of us that have a good idea, that's why we're out here building more raised beds, building more gardens. Eggs from the store. Let's talk about that. You see, I've got chickens everywhere. Fresh eggs, everybody says they taste so much better. To me, the taste is about the same. The fresh eggs do taste a little bit better, but what's different about it is there is a huge difference in store eggs and homegrown eggs. You look at Leghorn eggs. Leghorns lay huge white eggs, they lay productively. What you get from the store doesn't look that way. They're even bigger, okay? If you have chickens, you just about can't get these jumbo eggs from the store. You can't get a chicken that lays that. You might could, but it's not often. And you sure don't have one laying every single day for an entire year. Well, what are they being fed to do this? What's in those eggs? Why do store-bought eggs look so pale compared to mine that are pure orange? The sunlight, the nutrients. There's a lot of factors in this, okay, that make mine different than theirs. A lot of times, what I'm trying to tell you is the appearance of stuff may look better at the store than what you're growing in your backyard or what you're raising, but it does not mean necessarily that it's better for you, okay? I ate store-bought eggs for years. I have chickens now, so I have no reason to go buy it. We still buy stuff from the store, and that's where the average person's pinned up. If you're average, you've got to go buy food. We all go buy food, but what is in that food? And is there really a better option to buy? And then what makes it even better, you worry about, hey, whoop. Now I'm probably gonna get every one of them crowing, the whole lot. What's even better is if you are worried about any event and any natural disaster, any kind of disaster, having food on the shelf. Food is number one. You have to have food, water, and I would say number 3 would be gasoline, okay, for the average American. If any disaster happens, that's the first 3 things everybody worries about. I'm talking about a hurricane. I'm not talking about an EMP or anything like that. I'm talking about a hurricane comes through. What you got to do to wait till power comes back on? You need food, water, gas to drive somewhere for your chainsaw or whatever. You know, you need certain things. If you prep, it is very, 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 very hard not to prep with store-bought food. It's easy, it's there, it's quick, and you can get it on the shelf. I have store-bought food. I don't really use it that much, what I've put back. I keep it back for emergencies. And, you know, I'm kind of being conflicted. The more I find out about it, the more I don't want it on the shelf. I mean, honestly, guys, honestly. And that's sad. That's real sad. I like to stock up on food. I like to stock up on stuff, especially if it's on sale, I'll go buy it. But the more I'm learning, the more I'm like, do I really want that? Do I want to make that decision and get that? Is it good for us? Is it good for us? You know, I don't think we know what's in this food. I don't. Now, the good thing you can do with prepping is you can at home your own food and you can stock it back. But most preppers that I see and most preppers that I know have store-bought food stacked to the hilt, okay? They don't have just necessarily home canned food. They've got tons of other stuff. And I don't know, it's very tough to get around this. Even if we're exposed to the truth, what can we do about it? That's a choice you've got to make, but it's sad that it's come to that, and it's sad that we don't know really what's in our food. Like on the back of a bread package, they're not going to tell you human hair. Again, this could be a lie. Who knows? I don't know if that's a lie, truth, or what, but they're not going to tell you. And so there's the element of distrust. That's what I love about this. I trust it. I know it. I can do it, and I know what it's going to produce. I know what was in it. I know where it came from. I know what was put on it. I know what it'll look like on the plate. It doesn't look like some, you know, something on my plate that is just strange and not good. I know what it is, and I know what went into it. There's a reason fresh food tastes so much different than store-bought food. There's a huge reason there, guys, if you'll just think about it. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that fresh food tastes different than store-bought food? Do you really think it's because one's not fresh as the other? Or do you think it's, I mean, when you start talking about the colors are changing in it and everything else, a loaf of homemade bread doesn't look like a loaf of store-bought bread. It doesn't even taste the same, okay? It may be what's in it. One had eggs, flour, and oil, and the other one, and sugar, and yeast, and the other one had human hair. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason or not. I have no clue. I think people need to be awakened to this and maybe make some different choices. Best choice I can tell you is grow your own food. That's the best thing I can tell you. C, we've talked about this again. I've talked about A and B, the reasons why we like to grow our own food. The third thing is, guys, if something does happen, we have our own food. This is not easy to grow your own food. It's not. But we've got our own food and we've got the knowledge. We've got something set up right here, okay? Again, this is hard. This is very hard how to go out here and understand it. And then you've got the weather. The weather will crush a crop. What do you do? What do you do then? I read an article, I'll post it in the link of the description of this video, that guru from Colorado State University said that grocery prices will probably never be back to normal pre-pandemic level, okay? I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but I've never seen anything just come down my whole life. It just keeps going up. What is it going to be 10 years from now? You know, we've seen the price of seeds go up. We've seen the price of everything go up, okay? Food, seeds, fertilizer, equipment, whatever, okay, for your garden. Everything's went up. It's going to continue to go up. I would encourage learning how to seed save. I would highly encourage that. I have not got to that point yet. Now I do off my okra, but I do not with a lot of things. Reason being, I'm still learning and trying, and it's taken, now we're looking at almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and we're still learning. It takes a lot of knowledge, okay, to learn how to do this stuff. If you want to change what you're eating and you want to garden, now is the time, now is the year. You've got to get out here and do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now's the time, because you're going to fail over and over and over until you get it right. And find something that works for you, something you can grow, something you can. These silkies are being rowdy today, and then I've got the ducks over there. So they're partners. They're free-ranging partners right now with my garden up. But guys, I mean, we're beating a dead horse. We keep telling you to grow your own food, and I think the ones that are growing are doing it. A lot of people, though, I've seen a lot of people are showing interest this year in local homesteading groups and such, wanting to learn how to garden. And the questions they ask, guys, I asked my husband that the other night. I said, was I this bad? He said, yes, you were. You were this bad. Because it seems so beginner to us now, or like, would I ask that? You know, but you've got to learn. And I was there too. You've got to learn. And a lot of the videos I'm doing, it's so advanced for them. It's way advanced because they don't even know how to start a seed. So it takes a lot of knowledge, and somebody would look at me right now and laugh that's been doing it for 20 years. So it's a process of learning. That's why I say you've got to start this now. But the main thing is I enjoy it as a hobby. Well, it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And that's something else you got to face too. Do you want this to be your hobby, or do you want this to be your lifestyle? If you want it to be your lifestyle, you're going to have to make a whole lot of changes, okay? It's not overnight that this is going to come into place. This takes work. I don't know how working I got all this done, and I just keep adding more and more and more, and I just want the whole place. I mean, it's a farm, but it's a homestead. I don't leave here, okay? This is it. This is it. This is my grocery store. And it takes a lot of skill and knowledge, and it does not happen overnight. I've been wanting something to happen here for years. I've not had time. You know, you're doing the best you can, and then you have an event, or you have a situation, or something else comes up, and you just can't get it done. And everybody understands that. That's why I beg of you, please start now. Buy some seeds wherever you can get them, and just start. That's the best way I can tell you if you want to start growing your own food and knowing what's in your food, because I don't think the average American, including myself, knows what's in food. I don't. I have been buying, this is ashamedly, lettuce lately. I've just been on a salad kick. I've really wanted it. I don't have any lettuce. Kale, I did have the chickens took out, and we said, you know, we'll just start over this spring. That's why my big coops aren't free ranging. And I'm growing lettuce fast and furious, but I've craved salads lately. The lettuce I've bought at the store is brown, it's wilted, it's black, it's nasty, and it looks just pure burnt on the ends. I don't know what they've done to it. I don't know if they've done something to it. It appears to be rotting, but it's not completely rotting, if that makes any sense. It's just not, it's no good. It's no good. I've seen rotted lettuce look brown and wilted, and that's how it looks out in the garden, but I've never seen my lettuce black. Or it looked like somebody took a Sharpie marker and literally just sawed off the edges and put black all around it. That's not, I don't even want that. And that's what I told my husband. I said, you know, what do you do? What's the better option? You know, don't know what it was. I threw it out, but what do you do? And then you hate spending money, and the kind of money we're spending on junk. I think the quality of food, I can attest to this, has tanked in the past just 5 years. What we're getting in now is just rotten. They talk about supply chain issues and getting imports in, okay? All this stuff we're getting in, and I guess it's rotting en route. It takes so long to get here. I don't know how long it takes food to get here. I don't know where it's coming from. You have to search high and low on a package to find out. I noticed one thing the other night that I was eating said, product of Brazil. And that was some cherries. So, I don't know. It's just, it's a very concerning subject. But what we're going to do to be proactive is grow, grow, grow. Grow, 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 grow all you can. Grow everything you can. And if you think gardening's hard, wait till you get into the world of herbs. It's very, 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 very hard, okay? Especially starting these from seed. A lot of herbs are very, very hard. If you put a tomato seed in a cup, it's going to come up, okay? If you put an herb in a cup, it may be a month, it may be 2 months. You may have to sand it with a nail file to get the coat off. It's a whole different ballpark, okay? It's very, very hard. Start now. That's what we're doing. We're growing more than ever before. We're going to continue. I was thinking last night, I think I'm going to put some more raised beds over here. The soil is poor, very, very poor. You have to understand what kind of soil you've got. But I think if the food quality gets any worse, it's sad. It's sad, guys. It's real sad. And it's sad to be paying this much money for this little food. Very, very sad. So we're just going to keep on going. You've got to adapt to what you're eating and change really your palate and taste. You've got to understand what fresh food tastes like. You've got to understand that something is not supposed to be waxy when you get it. That's not natural, okay? That's not natural to have a wax coating on something when you buy it. It's not natural, okay? A lot of people don't know the difference. A lot of people don't understand the difference. It's not natural for a tomato to look the way they do in the store. It's not natural. It's not natural. So anyways, a lot of topics for discussion. You can let me know below, but I think as far as the world of food, I don't think we know what we're eating. I really don't. That's sad, but we're gonna fix it and we're gonna keep growing. We are going to grow, and I hope you guys are too. All right, guys, let us know below. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead. Get after it.